I'm endlessly fascinated and curious about the world around us, about business, about politics, about the arts, about culture, developments, social issues, and the people. Most importantly, about the people that are shaping our future. Every night, I get the opportunity to have conversations, to dive into conversations with thought leaders, with change makers, entrepreneurs, politicians, and everyday heroes who unpack the ideas and stories that I think matter to all of us. What's the future of our economy? What's the future of our country? How do we build stronger communities? What can we learn from music, theater, sports, politics, the arts? How does policy shape our real lives? What does leadership look like, real leadership in today's environment? If it's interesting and relevant and topical and we're talking about it, you'll hear about it here at 6 o'clock on the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. I want to have real conversations, in-depth conversations. These are ideas we're sharing. This is the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. Thanks for joining me. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. Well, I've got a really interesting conversation for you tonight and a fascinating individual to introduce you. Katia Stern is her name. She is amazing. She's got a really interesting background, and she's just launched a new business and a new career as a clinical sexologist, and she's doing her PhD in clinical sexology. She has had a really interesting background. She's been an executive coach. She's been a fitness competitor. She's been a Mrs. Canada beauty contestant. She's been an author, two-time best-selling author of some books. She's got master's degrees, and now she's going for a PhD in clinical sexology, and she's specializing in perimenopausal women. So it's going to be an interesting conversation tonight. Katia, welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me. It's always an interesting conversation with you.
Well,
With your experience and expertise, you've heard it all, I'm sure.
I've had a fascinating conversation with you previously about your executive coaching business and your confidence building and really sort of commitment to fitness and health and beauty, etc. But now, why the change to become a clinical sexologist? And what is a clinical sexologist? And you're board certified, I understand, which is a different designation.
Right. Brian, let me start with this. That woman that you talked to before, that was perimenopausal. And the woman you're talking to right now is postmenopausal. These are like two different women. And this information is important for men to know because men don't understand what's happening to a woman's body. Well, women don't understand what's happening we don't understand what's happening to ourselves. So that's kind of, became my personal story and why I'm doing this now. And it's just because people need to know. So
Okay, so tell me
nice
your
to meet
personal.
you again. This is
Tell me your personal story then, if you could start off.
the personal story is that I think one of the reasons I started working with women in the empowerment space is because when I was about 21, I was here in Toronto doing my first degree in psychology at York University. And my then boyfriend's mother, she was about 45, 46. And she had some issues with her husband. Apparently, he cheated on her, and she found out. So she started taking care of herself, like started holding on to that youth, starting what's called like self-care. And what did she do? She quit eating salt, sugar, meat, fish, eggs, like everything. So her digestive system gave up. Her hormonal system, his system was obviously in chaos. And I remember the conversation when she said, Katia, food is talking to me. And so he took her to the hospital because anyways, a lot of issues. And one day he calls me and he says, Mom. So I drive there, I get there, I see police car, I see ambulance and everything. So She jumped from the 12th floor. And I walked into the room when the police was done with their investigation. I walked into the room. The first thing I see is the perfectly laid out white blouse, black pants, and pair of heels. So she did it intentionally. And that whole thing impacted my life huge. Like that was a big impact. And I knew I would have to do everything in my power to basically not become that woman, not be as young and as alive and as what's the word? Just me throughout my whole life. So I started looking for ways to do that through my fitness, through my psychology degree and health coaching and hormonal. Like I have a lot of knowledge, but having all that knowledge did not help me. I mean, it did,
It
of
didn't help
course.
you.
Of course, it did, but I still struggled. I still going through that. So now I know that was a perimenopause when her body was changing, when her hormones were changing. On top of it, this intimacy issue with her husband, all of that, and she just got lost, and that's what happens to a lot of women. And when this was happening to me, obviously not to this extent, but to when I felt like, who is this woman looking back at me? Even though the knowledge is there and the understanding is there, the experience is there, I felt, I felt alone. I felt hopeless. I
Felt you felt
didn't.
that way during perimenopause or at that time when your boyfriend's mother committed suicide?
No, no, no. That was like 20 years forward when I
Right.
was going through this.
So
With
tell me a little bit about it because you were a fitness competitor. I've seen pictures. You've shared pictures with me. You were a bikini model, I think, in your 40s,
right?
and you were a competitor for Mrs. Canada as a
Absolutely.
mom. And obviously extremely attractive, very confident, well educated, intelligent, successful, and real estate investor, etc. Why
Thank
would
you.
you be why would you be challenged by perimenopause?
That's the thing. That's the thing, and still happens. No matter how externally your life, how great your life is, um, it's still inside. It can hit you, like the women. And I didn't know that. I thought if I've managed that external part, and I was trying hard. I mean, I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I loved every minute of fitness competition and everything, but I think this was one of the ways of being relatable and visible, like forever. This was a part of that. Like I don't want to disappear because that's what women are telling me, and that's like the common symptoms
Is
of
that
this
they fear they
perimenopause.
disappear?
They feel they disappear. They feel invisible. I feel like I'm not seen by my husband, by my partner, by the society. Like I was relatable. I was a and I work with professionally accomplished women because I know their pains. When you see them, the outside is like, oh, so many achievements, so many things you've done, so many children and husbands you've raised, and all of a sudden you like inside you still feel invisible. There's a test. I think I described this in my book that you were worn. Wow. When you walk on the street and they're construction workers and they whistle when you walk by, then you still got it. But if they kind of, don't react, then you're done. So, and it's not a joke. You actually feel like you this hot woman, and I was always hot, yeah, and which is not always a good thing, but it's another another conversation. And all of a sudden, you feel invisible. Like, hello, I'm here. You almost want to scream, I'm here.
Still
I
whistle
want to
at
be
me. You still want to be
desired.
whistled at?
Hmm?
You still want to be whistled at?
We can call this external validation. And I can, talk to you about how, oh, I'm independent. I don't care about other people's opinions. And that's in the perfect world. But the world is not perfect. Otherwise, the Instagram or any social media would not have even existed, because we do care about other people. It's just the extent of how impacted we are with that. But we do care. Women care, men care. Otherwise, a lot of things that we do, we wouldn't be doing. Like, for example, who would need a Ferrari if you were on an island with nobody looking at you? Or any other, like, even any other achievements that we do care about people's opinion. We're social creatures. So it's one of the that test, of course, it's about like external validation, but inside you feel, first of all, you're the we were conditioned to think and feel that my role as a woman, I'm a mother, so give birth and build a family, or build a business, or be successful, or whatever we were conditioned to think. And all of a sudden, like, it usually starts around 40, 42, and you've done all those beautiful things, but what have you done for you? What have you done for your own fun, for your own pleasure? I work with women, and they're like, I don't even know what my pleasure is. I don't even know.
What do you
Like,
mean
I
what
know
your
my
pleasure is? What their passion
I
is?
don't know
What?
what gives me pleasure in the physical sense, because there's a disconnect with the body. A lot of women and this idea of, like, lose weight is the main request. Yeah, I want to lose weight, but what's deeper? I want to lose weight because I don't feel comfortable with myself. I feel like I'm not myself anymore. I Obviously that impacts intimacy, because I'm not loving my body. I'm asking to turn off the light. That's like the best. If you turn the light, you can still have intimate relationship. But sometimes it's I'm so disgusted with my body. That's what I get from women, that I can't even have sex. And men think it's something about them, that they just don't, they're not wanted, they're not this. And with women, it's much simpler. Sometimes she forgot to shave her legs, that's why she doesn't have intimacy with you. But going back to pleasure, like, there's such a disconnect that we were not taught to to experience pleasure. We were taught to get married and do
Kids.
all the do the check mark. Yeah. But whoever taught us how to orgasm, for example, like how that's supposed to do a certain way to relax, or to give in, to submit, even, like, and this professionally accomplished woman, when I said submission, she was like, oh, me submit? No, no, I have to be strong. I have to be independent. I can't submit to a man. No, it's like submission to life, which is, again, it's a huge topic. But being this strong doesn't always work, because when I ask him, okay, so you strong, you were independent, you so, I can be on my own. I need a relationship. And ask, and so how is it working for you?
So I don't,
Mm.
Katya, I don't understand. Please help me. So is it just getting old? Is it gaining weight? Is it something about the change of the hormones because of menopause? What is it that is the challenge?
Oh, that's a beautiful bouquet. All of it. All of it, because all of the things are related. Because she was too busy dealing with other people, all of the families, the careers, and she let it go. She now, boom, she
So,
wakes up 40, not loving her body, total disconnect with the body, feeling undesirable and having no desire. Intimacy issues, any other issues come up, because, like, she's not in love with herself. That's the bottom
so
line.
you said that you had a personal experience. You related the personal experience with your boyfriend's mother who committed suicide when she was going through this in her 40s.
Mhm.
Did you go through this? Did you start not loving your body anymore? Did you go through this perimenopausal aging issues?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Even after being a beauty
Even
pageant winner,
after
even after being a
exact
fitness competitor, even
that's
after
the thing.
writing 2 books, even after all the success that you've had.
And it doesn't matter. That's the thing. That was a surprise to me. That's why my like I want to help, and I'm helping those women who have it all together, whose world looks perfect from the outside, and they can't talk to anybody about this. You don't talk to your girlfriends about this because or your mother or your sister, because everything you're gonna be told that like you spoil brat, you just take a break, go shopping or something like that. That's the advice we get from
Take a break, go
our,
shopping.
yeah, like, yeah, go have fun, go have some wine. But
To a
no,
spa.
it's much deeper. It gets deep, and it's well, and my everything came together when I was going through this. My I had to get a hip replacement, so physically I couldn't walk. Mentally, I felt like, okay, I'm losing it. So imagine living with the identity that you're a beautiful woman, and all of a sudden you were like formerly hot.
Formerly hot.
Yeah.
Katya, I got to tell you something. You're not formerly hot. You're still very, extremely hot.
Thank you. Feeling better now. No, I'm out of it, so I'm on the other side, so I can talk about this. But when the hormones, when the estrogen is going down, and estrogen is a hormone of nurture, and we were nurturing everybody else. Like my father died when I was 30, and I was 7 months pregnant when he died. So from that point on, I took care of my daughter, my mother, my younger brother, like the whole family. Uh, so I was nurturing. And then I realized when I started competing when I was 42, so I guess that's when like I started feeling that, okay, I'm losing. I gotta have it back. I gotta get into the body. I gotta start working out, and working out wasn't enough for me, but to be that visible, I did the fitness competition, this, that. But after, again, that I guess the point, I was about 46, 47, and it's just, and I lost a lot of money at that time. Like, I didn't lose it, but somebody fucked me up. My best friend and a partner. Um, so that the menopause,
So, men
took
age
everything
too.
together.
Men age too. Men put on weight, they go gray, they get old. Why is it so much different? Is it the estrogen? Is it the hormones? What is it?
Um, it's both. It's just men have a different values, different value of themselves. We were just conditioned differently, right? So if I can become a mother, so basically like that's it. I'm done.
Can't
That's
be
what we're
if you can't
feeling.
give birth anymore, you're done? Seriously?
The thoughts are there. Like when I was studying sexology, I remember one of the movie. Like we did a lot of training on physical aspects and on desire, on attraction, and there was a movie that about like scientific experiments on the attraction, how men are attracted to women. And one of the like there was a facial structure, there was the scent, there was the how a woman walks, like everything measured scientifically. And one of the things was that men are attracted to women who are ovulating. And I'm sitting there, okay, I'm not ovulating anymore. What's up? Where's my attraction? How? And that it became even like more interesting to me. What happens to women after that? Because science, they only took measures of women who were obviously before the menopause. They're ovulating and everything. And I'm like, okay, so there's no attraction between men and women. after I don't ovulate. That's it. Done.
I've never known when someone's ovulating. How would you even know when someone's ovulating?
Now, there's a time in men apparently, so they did studies on this. Men feel it, right? There's certain scent, pheromones, I don't know, some scent, men feel it. And just a few days of the months when the eggs are growing, and and women just exude that sexuality.
They exude that sexuality, and
Yeah,
and so and
they're
so
open to procreate, and
your
that's why
your
men are feeling it.
your
That's
work
just
is
nature.
your work now is what? It's to help women deal with the changes in their bodies, in their lives, in their mental attitude with perimenopause and menopause.
Even though, ironically, 80% and now even more of my private clients are men
Even though you
because
specialize in menopause and perimenopause. Well, we're going to take a break for some
okay.
messages and come back in just 2 minutes and ask you a little bit more about maybe both your work with women as well as your work with men. Stay with us, everyone. This is going to be an interesting conversation tonight with Katia Stern, a board certified clinical sexologist. Never heard of that before. Fascinating. Stay with us, everyone. Back in 2 minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. I've got Katia Stern with us tonight. She is a board-certified clinical sexologist, and she specializes, she says, in perimenopausal and menopausal females. Though 80% of her business, from a coaching standpoint and a clinical standpoint, is actually with men. So I think this is going to be an interesting conversation as we go into both. But let's come back, if we could, Katia, because you've had this. You've got master's degrees. You've written 2 books. You've been a beauty pageant contestant, a fitness contestant, a real estate investor. When and how did you become a clinical sexologist? Did you have to go to school? You said you're doing a PhD in it. Where does one do a PhD in sexology, in clinical sexology?
Yes, of course. I went back to school, and I studied the International Institute of Clinical Sexologists in my sexology in Miami. And I passed all my exams, and I actually specialized in hypnosis for sexuality. That's my major
In what?
thing. Hypnosis,
Hypnosis in
hypnotherapy. Yeah,
sexology. Okay.
yeah, because you can get to the root of the problem through the cognitive methods. So basically, it's like a prefrontal cortex, but it's only all our I don't want to say problems, but the root cause of our perceived problems is in the subconscious, which is like we're ruled by the subconscious, which is 90 whatever 5%. And you can't get too deep to figure that out through the prefrontal cortex, through just talking through cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's much faster, more effective to go through to surpass the brain, that part that's the new part of the brain, that logical, and go right into the limbic system, into the subconscious. That's what the belief system where it's formed. When we were much younger. That's
And
what we,
so, what, you get people to lie down on a couch and you hold the watch up on top of them, and you take them into hypnosis.
yeah.
Fascinating. How long does this course take?
I did it over a year, just a little bit over a year, and now I'm in my that's what the prerequisite, obviously, for the PhD. So my PhD is I was contemplating on this a lot because I really enjoy working with men because it's like it's executive coach. I work with high end like A type of personality businessmen who have difficulties opening up, who are very controlling, who can't talk about to anybody about anything, like especially intimate issues. So I guess they trust me because I'm a lawyer, or I don't know, they like talking to me because I'm a good looking woman, I'm fun, and they open up. And really, they have nobody to go to. So if women have each other, we can talk about these things like in a group, We can talk to girlfriends. Guys can talk about this only if they're like, oh, I was with this. Yeah, they can brag about their achievements. But once there's a problem, they can really, talk to another guy. See, I have this problem, this issue, or, or I have some perversions or desires or some fantasies, and really they want to explore that, and sometimes they just feel like there's something wrong with them, and that's where they talk to me, and in a couple of sessions they're like, oh, so there's nothing wrong with me. I'm like, no, you and all other guys have their own.
So what do you do? You just chat with them? Do you put them on a couch and like do you just chat? What do you do?
It depends. It doesn't have, I most of them are online actually, but you can still do hypnosis. You can do like inner work through, as I said, surpassing that, and it's a mixed. It's a lot of it as a conversation. There are questions that um, people avoid. You can't ask yourself a question that's really hurtful, that somewhere down deep the answer to, but you can't take it to the surface and really
So these,
answer
you
it.
say these are successful men, what, in their 40s, 50s, and they're having challenges with something to do with sex, and they want to just chat about it. And what are the typical questions you get? And you said perversions and things like this. So what are the typical questions or issues that you would be addressing with men?
With my man, guilt is number one thing.
Guilt because of.
Guilt because there's it's either he's married and really loving his wife, but wants more. So how almost every man I talk to describes like he wants to explore. That's the word they're using. They want to explore. They want to try, let's say, some kind of other relationship with I don't know, threesome, or maybe like some sex on the I don't know, on the roof, on the plane, like something different. And but usually he can't do this with the woman who is like the mother of his five children, and obviously she's precious to him, and he really loves her, but he wants more out of life. So and there's guilt, and um or or he's like in a new relationship and he doesn't know how to navigate that. And yeah, I had an interesting case. He's about 60 something, very successful man, and in a relationship with a younger girl, and he was like, is she after my money? That's another thing with a lot of uh, they come to me for intimacy issues, but there's like things like this, like, is she really for my money? So it's we've been working with them for a year. So now I called him to just to see how things are how things are with him, and he tells me, Katia, I'm the most, I'm the happiest man alive. Like, oh, he's with this girl, because in the beginning he was like, oh, maybe she's after my money. It's hard to understand, but we reframed his belief system. Like every little belief that he hold before, we had to reframe it. Not every, but a lot of them. And I work with belief system. Basically, that's what I do. So because he's like, somebody's telling me a story and is so sure of it, and I give a different approach to this, and
Which is what? So you've got an older man who's got a younger girlfriend who he's
mhm,
worried is after his money. How did you change his belief system? To what did you change his belief system?
to reality. Because we're all delusional, all of us. We're living in a fantasy world. We see it as we want to see it, but there's a flip side to it, or there's a side to it. So
What's the
with
flip side to it? That she is after his money, but so what?
you after her youth and beauty. How are you feeling? Let's concentrate not on what your friends are telling you, because like oh, my friends are all telling you that. Again, how true is that those friends know anything about your feelings, about your life? So he let it go. He listened to himself, and then we focused on how he feels about himself when he walks into the whatever, into the room, into the event, and he's like, "Oh my God, I feel like on top of the world."
Because he's got this beautiful young lady beside him.
Yeah, yeah, and she's amazing. Like she's really that, and now it's over. Yeah, over a year that they're together, and it's a loving relationship. It's beautiful. He's enjoying it. I said, do you want to continue feeling that? She's like, yeah. How important is that to you to feel like that? Oh my God, very important.
And if
I
you spoke
work.
with the female, what would she say?
Oh shit. I can't because that would be a conflict of interest.
Okay.
So he never introduced me to her. He
Okay, so
wanted to keep
what
it.
about these men that want to explore? What do you tell them? If they're happily married, they're in love with their wives, but they can't do their exploration with the mother of the children, but they want these things. What do you tell them?
Very often, the root cause of their exploration is not really it's deeper. They really longing some kind of satisfaction. A lot of these men are not satisfied, and they're looking for this type of sex as a way of again, like external validation in a way. So we need to get to the root cause of like why you're having this desire in the first place. And maybe that's not even desire to like go out there and maybe that's just he doesn't feel the attention, he doesn't feel the respect from a woman, his woman, and really first thing is to improve his own self confidence, because maybe he's losing it with with age, and very often they still want to they want to do something different just to kind of prove to themselves that he's still got it. So
Oh
there's
God,
a
he's
lot
still
of,
young, still alive.
yeah, still alive, because with his woman he's not feeling it. It's just uh, you know new novelty is a big thing in sex. Why people are addicted to porn? Yeah, and that's another problem. Is that's where'd you get your education? Where do we get our sex education? Porn, right? Like where else? And it's not really,
It's not real.
it's not real. It's all fake. It's not and we're trying to be like those people, like he's hard on for like hours, and it's just not true. Oh, she's enjoying this intercourse so much, which is again not true. A lot of women don't even enjoy intercourse. We're doing this for you guys. And also like the orgasm, that only about 30% of women can have an orgasm with just from penetration alone. All other 70% or more, I would say, need some kind of additional stimulation, like clitoral stimulation to, but we have to fake it because you don't have an education, and you like, and that's where I come in. Like I think
No,
this
people don't
education
fake it. Don't tell me that. That's terrible. We're going to take a break for
it is terrible,
sausages
but it's
and come
true.
back in just 2 minutes. Katia Stern, and we're going to switch from men, and we're going to switch and chat a little bit about women, which is her main focus. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be back in just 2 minutes with Katia Sturm, a clinical, board certified clinical sexologist. Fascinating. Stay with us, everyone. Back in two. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. Wow, this is an interesting conversation tonight with Katia Stern, who is a board certified clinical sexologist. She is completing her PhD. She's done the coursework, and I guess she's now writing her thesis. And you're focusing on menopausal, perimenopausal, and menopausal females. So let's go back to that. So, what I have heard is that hormone replacement is one of the keys. Weight loss, still dressing young, etc. So, what's your advice to females that are going through perimenopause or menopause?
Well, first of all, whatever advice is for educational purposes only. So my number one advice to get more education, actually, from me, from other, from me, but more on like sex side, sexology, but medical advice, obviously, from a specialist, pelvic floor specialist, or your OBGYN, or your doctor. And doctors have different opinions, and unfortunately, doctors are not well trained on this. Thanks to some people who now creating attention to this problem of menopause, perimenopause. It's just picking up. I was just visiting the national menopause show here in Toronto a couple of weeks ago, where I met wonderful people and people who like finally taking it seriously. So HRT is there's a lot of controversy about it, and I am all up for it. And there's a lot of bad research about like the myth that it's causing cancer. It has some other problems. So do your own research.
Yeah. So what I've been told is that there were, some studies a decade or two ago that said that hormone replacement therapy caused cancer, and have been completely debunked. That they were bad studies, and that the current thinking is that hormone replacement is very positive. What's your understanding?
Right, right, absolutely. There's a much more research now, and all like modern age, really advanced doctors are advocating for it. But obviously, there's time and place. Like everybody is still different, so it can be a general advice. So everybody get on HRT. No, but estradiol and progesterone are two main things. There's a controversy on the testosterone as well, because it's a lot of women do testosterone as a cream or as a patch, or and that more controversy now on the testosterone. My doctor is all up for it, and he's like, he's seeing results. Not he knows the symptoms, and he knows the after, the life after those hormones. So
What are the symptoms of low testosterone, and what would taking testosterone do?
well, first of all, first and most important for me as a sexologist, is low libido. Yeah, women
And
are like, I don't want anything. I don't. It's just low testosterone. On top of everything else, obviously stress, body image issues and stuff like that. But yeah,
and so you would
testosterone is big.
and
And
so
it's
you would
it
recommend
makes
it.
us. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I can't recommend it, but I
Take
know
it.
it works.
Okay. And so what else would you recommend?
Definitely look into the estrogen and progesterone.
Okay. And
So
then
that uh,
you commented about weight and self-confidence and self-awareness and things like that. What do you
well,
recommend?
you know what? So yeah, so let's start from the bottom. If you don't do the like, this is a basic stuff. You can't avoid having a proper nutrition, proper sleep, proper self-care, and fitness, obviously. And fitness for me is weight training, progressive overloading, not Pilates, not Pilates matcha, that type of stuff, even though it sounds very cute. Maybe for younger girls, like my daughter is still okay with some matcha Pilates, but not for more experienced ladies, because there's a thing like osteoporosis. We need our bones to be strong. There are things like sarcopenia, which is a loss of muscles that just doesn't hold the body anymore. So definitely weight training. It's like,
Weight training,
yeah,
getting into
no,
the weight room,
huh?
getting into a weight room, really.
Yeah, run into a weight room, of course. There's no way around it. So, you know what women are doing to themselves? To we're doing this to ourselves. I'm part of that group too. Not in the terms of in this regard, but overall, like we're trying to find a way out. Like I'll find my own way. Like don't waste your time. Listen to a few people who look the way you would want to look, and not just look but have that in energy, the joie de vivre. I always love this expression because the French, they have this way of expressing this. It's a joie de vivre, the joy of life. Who if you look at the woman, she has that in her. Follow her, like listen to her, what she does, what she, especially if she's trained in so many things, like me. Like, and I've lived this, I live and breathe this whole thing. So find that person and follow her advice or his advice. Doesn't have to be her, but just find your person and don't overcomplicate. And there's no way out. Like there's no other way
So,
as
so
wait.
diet, nutrition,
Diet,
with weight training.
protein. Women undereat protein. Don't go too crazy with protein, because as we age, protein is can add to aging. But when at the especially like everything is in cycles, everything is in like steps, right? If we're talking about like, okay, I wake up, now I want to change my life. So that the first thing you do is you uptake your protein. And protein, we're talking about, oh, so I need to buy protein shakes. Like that's the first question I get. What kind of protein shakes do I get? No, protein is real food. I know we get bombarded with all the fake foods, like with all this sport nutrition and stuff. No, the protein is organic chicken breast, it's organic eggs, it's organic beef, it's turkey, it's white fish, and that's it. These are your proteins. And carbs, your carbs are like healthy carbs. It's potatoes are good carbs. The I don't eat rice, but some people are okay with rice. There's always vegetables for fiber. There's lots of water. So yeah, it's like to me it's basic, right? No processed food is good. Alcohol and perimenopause and menopause don't go together. Even though like this is the moment where we finally can sit down and have a drink because we have achieved it all. We've done it all. We've raised everybody we needed to raise. And now we can sit down, relax with a glass of Bordeaux. Okay, a glass is okay. I had a glass of Bordeaux last night because I just closed the deal on the biggest real estate deal of my life. Thanks God, I finally closed it. The Toronto real estate market is now, woo. So it took me a while, but
But
I did have a glass of Bordeaux, but
not too
that's
much.
it. No, just a good wine, a little bit of it, or if you want to like more hard liquor, maybe some tequila, clean drink. But it's just, when you wake up in the morning after all that social drinking and it's just no, it's still
So you
poison,
talked
still toxin.
you talked about men having, issues about wanting to explore and wanting to have affairs and not being satisfied. Is that what females are asking about, or no? They're just frustrated with perimenopause and menopause.
Well, they're frustrated mostly with themselves. I look at the mirror. I don't recognize that woman. Who is that woman looking back at me? I don't know her. Because the 40 years previous, she knew what she was doing and who she was. She was building all those things that she was building. Again, the career, the kids, everything. And all of a sudden, she doesn't know who she is anymore. So, and uh, she's not in the body that she wanted to have. She's not, like, she's hating herself. And when you're in this position of like hating, uh, no matter how much money you have, what desire, you can't undress. You too ashamed of yourself. And again, that's a paradox because in all of the other areas, you were perceived as an absolutely successful woman, but you don't feel that because you hate yourself in the mirror. That's the biggest issue. And of course, there's sleep problems, and there are the hot flushes, and then you feel like, okay, this is like you're losing all of that, all these womanly things, and who am I in the next life? And that's what women want to explore. They're not happy with their partners. They're not. I mean, I left my partner at this time, and you know who that is. Amazing, amazing man, like perfect. 6 foot something, wealthy, well known, celebrity, very good looking. Like he's an ideal man. But
Then why'd you leave him?
don't ask me. Not that I have no regrets. Whatever happened had to happen, and I'm grateful to him and myself. We're still very good friends, but something is happening. It's like we want to find that something new. Like that's our novelty. Like, am I done as a woman,
Am I done
or
as a
am
woman?
I done as a woman? Because we're like, I can't have kids anymore, so that's done. But am I still? So, like we were talking that men are looking for a way to kind of be acknowledged for who they are. They still got it. Women go through the same thing.
Women want the same thing?
You're right, but we are losing more. We have more to lose. We are losing our looks, like our perceived value. Like, I hate to say that, but that's reality. Perceived value, right? Is having a beauty, having kids, like as a career woman. Okay, well, any man could do that work kind of thing, but those two things as being like the feminine thing, nobody else can do. And when we lose them, it's like we're losing ourselves. Plus, we were too busy taking care of everybody else. So, yeah, I'm not in my best shape. I was busy, and when I work with women, I'm like, you have to forgive yourself for because we obviously beat ourselves up. How could I? How could I? Why did I'm so stupid? And like keep calling herself names, and here she is, a successful woman who built businesses, built lives for other people, and she's made her money, everything, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? Why did I eat so much? I hate myself. I feel like a pig. I feel like, ooh, stop it, stop it, stop it. Let's stop. First thing is to acknowledge, like to become aware of where you are at this moment. Yes, it is what it is. You are this, you're that, this is where you are right now. But you got to forgive yourself for the things you've done or haven't done, and kind of, I don't want to say start clean slate, because it's not really clean, because now it's amazing. You have all this experience, you have all this expertise from life. Now you can only going forward, it's only going to get better. And I guess this is like my message to all the other women, that it's women who are not there yet. I'm 52 now, and it's just starting. I really feel like it's starting because I don't have those problems anymore. And even in sex, I'm not afraid to get pregnant where I don't want to get pregnant. And that's, men don't understand, but women live with that issue all their lives. So sometimes it's not the man, that it's just we have the fear. So, but for men, sex is okay, in, out, here we go. For women, it's like, what if I'll have to live with this for the rest of my life? So it's deeper. They're more, women in general feel more unsafe. Safety is a big issue for women because we can be raped, we can be beaten. We're not as powerful, as strong physically. Obviously, it's we live in this unsafe space. So for a woman to be relaxed in her sex life, she has to be like totally safe. That's sexy. The sexiest thing a man can say to a woman. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I want to hear it. What's the sexiest thing a man could say to a woman?
I'll take care of it. When a man takes care of something, some of the problems that a woman has, and you can just submit to him and say, I'll take care of it, honey. And you're like, oh, really?
You've used this word submission or submit often. That's surprising.
Yeah. Submit doesn't mean you like let your all your powers go and then you become dependent. Submit is a very feminine thing actually. It's when woman is relaxed, when she does feel safe to submit. And that's why I'm just gonna quickly touch on this. The BDSM it can be very therapeutic in a sense because that's where a woman who is very controlling, who is having difficulties submitting, meaning letting go, losing control, which is like impossible in real life because they all like, Katia, if I lose control, that's it. Who's gonna pay my bills? And that's kind of, yeah, but that's life. But you taking this whole thing into your intimacy, and that's where you're having issues because you can't let go, you can't trust because you were hurt obviously by men. And I understand this. I I left the father of my child because he was becoming physically abusive, and I left him after me living with him on a 47 meters boat in Monaco with like 7 people serving me champagne and lobsters and all that glitz and glam life. I left him with my daughter, 3-year-old daughter, with the the key car keys, the Mercedes he gave me, and
Because you weren't safe.
yeah, yeah, and I left everything, and it was nothing, it was zero, like no money, nothing, and started, building my whole life up,
Katia, do you have joie de vivre today?
Yes, yes, I actually do. Oh my God, I had goosebumps. Thank you for that question because, I could ask this myself, but you never really, that's why coaching is good when you get somebody else's, somebody to ask you a question that really like, oh,
Katia,
yeah.
this has been a wonderful conversation. If people want to reach out to you to see if you could help them out, is there a website they should go to, or how do they contact you?
The best way is to follow on Instagram and just DM me.
Katja, really appreciate you joining us tonight and telling us about your joie de vivre, about your focus on perimenopause and menopausal females, about your advice to men, and becoming a board certified clinical sexologist. Fascinating conversation, and all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, especially for the last question. I really appreciate it.
That's our show for tonight, everybody. I guess we
Okay.
should all ask ourselves, do we have joie de vivre? Thanks for joining us. I remind you, I'm on every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM. You can stream me online at www.saga960am.ca. All my podcasts and videos go up on my website, briancrombie.com, and on social media, my YouTube channel and podcast servers as soon as the radio show goes to air. I get to interview and meet some absolutely fascinating people, from politics to economics to development to business to clinical sexology. Unbelievable. Stay with us. We'll be back on Monday. Good night.